Now, the debt ceiling is a very important subject, right? Well, now, what it does is that it authorizes the United States to pay its bills. That's why everybody's freaking out about, oh, we're hitting the debt ceiling. We got to do something about it. We got to raise it, right? Now, it's important to note that this does not authorize new debt, okay? This is basically debt that we've already amassed. So, and look, we have to pay that. We have to pay our bills, right? It's pretty important to do that. Now, as I said, the debt ceiling, it's coming fast. We hit that in September. So, it's real close. Now, if we don't raise the debt ceiling, we threaten the full faith and credit of the United States. Now, that would be very bad, as we would see rising interest rates, which would end up hurting the economy, would create investor panic, maybe even do a run on the banks, and would shut down even certain government services. So it would have a whole host of disastrous economic effects, not just here, but across the world, since we're the world's largest economy. So it's pretty important that we don't play games with the debt ceiling, that we raise the debt ceiling, right? Now, House Speaker Paul Ryan, well, he actually agrees with that. Now, let's go to an interview here that he held at a Boeing plant recently when he talked about the debt ceiling.
I'm really not that worried about this. We have plenty of options ahead of us. We will pay our debts, and we will make the debt limit. We will hit the increase before this is penetrated, meaning we will pass a debt limit increase before we hit the debt limit. Plenty of options in front of us.
Do those options include a clean hike of the debt ceiling?
There's a bunch of different options in front of us. I'm not going to kind of negotiate to the media, but we have a lot of options in front of us. I'm really not worried about getting this done because I know we will get this done, and we will pass the increase before we hit the debt limit.
Okay. So now we go to Mitch McConnell, right? Now, Mitch McConnell is the Senate Majority Leader. So he's also on the debt limit. He's saying, yes, let's raise it. Let's pay our bills and pass a clean bill to do just that. So again, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, they're in agreement, right? They want to avoid economic disaster. Now, we can go into the hypocrisy of them previously, especially Mitch McConnell, holding the debt ceiling hostage in order to get certain concessions for the Republican Party. And that's a definite fair criticism. But on this, they're not playing around. They're like, yeah, of course we got to raise the debt limit. Are you crazy? Well, speaking of crazy, now we go to Donald Trump. At his Tuesday rally, he said this about the debt ceiling.
Now, the obstructionist Democrats would like us not to do it, but believe me, if we have to close down our government, we're building that wall. Let me be very clear to Democrats in Congress who oppose a border wall and stand in the way of border security. You are putting all of America's safety at risk. You're doing that. You're doing that.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, you're putting all Americans at risk by not building the border wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the entire economy at risk so that I can build this wall. You fucking moron. Look, what's funny is that, wait, I thought Mexico was going to pay for this wall. Didn't you make all these promises that Mexico was going to pay for the wall? In fact, we could go back and I could find, look, you don't even have to do an intensive search. You just look up Trump, Mexico, wall. And you're going to find speech on top of speech where it's like, who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Mexico's not paying for the wall. If they were, why is Trump threatening to shut down the government for not funding the border wall? So, but look, they never intended for Mexico to pay for the wall, and they knew that. But nonetheless, here you have Kellyanne Conway, right, who is basically avoiding that question, who's basically wants you to forget that they even promised to have Mexico pay for the wall, since she's doubling down on let's shut down the government if Congress doesn't fund the wall. Let's take a look at that video.
He's going to shut down the government if the wall is not funded by our Congress, our leaders in Washington. And then you had Paul Ryan saying, I don't think that was smart. I don't want to shut down the government. And of course, you have the Democrats that are saying that's not wise either. Is he going to stick to this?
He's going to stick to building that wall, Ainsley, and he wants the money to pay for it. The president ran on building the wall, won on building the wall, and has remained steadfastly committed to doing it. And anybody who is surprised by that has not been paying attention for over 2 years. He's telling Congress He's building the wall. He expects the funding, and it's up to them. It's up to them to work collaboratively. We hope they do.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. What happened to Mexico, Kellyanne? What happened? What happened? Look, they knew, again, Mexico was not going to pay for the wall. Now they want us to pay for the wall, and they're threatening the full faith and credit of the United States in order to do that. This is not only stupid, but it's dangerous, right? Trump is essentially putting the entire financial future of the world in jeopardy to build a wall that, again, is not going to work. It's not going to stop drugs. It's not going to stop illegal immigration. And not only that, but this is not something that he actually really, or at least he admits is not a huge policy priority. In fact, during a January 27 conversation with Mexican President Nieto, Trump characterized the wall as, quote, the least important thing that we are talking about. But politically, this might be the most important thing we talk about. So, like, trying to understand that, right? Yeah, I don't really think that it's that important as far as policy goes. But politically, I made this promise, so I kind of have to do it now. Look, I think that Trump is too stupid to know what he's doing, okay? That he doesn't understand the consequences of not paying our bills. This is not the same as the debt ceiling fights before, where it was between Republicans and Democrats to try to extract some concessions, but ultimately we're going to do it. No, this is Trump fighting with his own party. Okay, this is not some dance to try to come to an agreement. This is him fighting with Republicans saying, no, you guys are in charge, and you're gonna fund my wall. He's too stupid to know that what he's doing is dangerous, okay? This is a disaster. And look, Trump has a history of not paying his bills, okay? So he thinks the United States can get away with not paying their own bills if it happens, right? I mean, he's faced numerous lawsuits for not paying employees or people who do him services, who do work on his hotels. He also calls himself the king of debt, and even advocated for not paying the debts, for not raising the debt ceiling, so that we could negotiate better payments on our national debt. This guy's a lunatic, and a dangerous one that has no understanding of how the economy actually works. If he continues to play games with the debt ceiling in order to build a stupid fucking wall, then we are in for a very, very rough time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.